Sarajevo, June 28, 1914. It is a sweltering morning, and the city is in a festive mood for the arrival of a royal visitor. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is here on an official visit. His motorcade is targeted almost immediately. A bomb is thrown at his car but misses, injuring bystanders in the street. The Archduke continues his schedule, even insisting on a trip to the hospital to visit the wounded. A few blocks away, 19-year-old Gavrilo Princip assumes the assassination attempt has failed. He leaves his post and stops at a local cafe. Then, a single error changes everything. The Archduke's driver takes a wrong turn off the planned route. Realizing the mistake, he stops the car to shift into reverse, stalling the engine directly in front of the cafe where Princip is standing. Princip draws his pistol and fires 2 shots into the stalled car at point-blank range. In most years, a double murder in a distant province would be a regional crisis. But Sarajevo happened to be the one place where a local spark could ignite a sequence of hidden triggers that the empires of Europe had spent decades preparing. For 40 years, the powers of Europe had been wiring the continent with a complex network of secret treaties. These agreements were designed to prevent war through the threat of total retaliation. By 1914, the continent was split into 2 armed camps. Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy formed the Triple Alliance in the center, while France, Russia, and Britain formed the Triple Entente around them. The tension was highest here, in the Balkans. It was a region caught between declining empires and rising nationalist movements, where the interests of Russia and Austria-Hungary directly overlapped. Because these treaties were so rigid, a localized clash in Serbia could not stay local. The system ensured that if one nation moved to defend its interests, its allies were required to follow. Leaders in Vienna saw the assassination as the perfect excuse to crush Serbia and end the threat of Balkan nationalism. Their only fear was Russia, which viewed itself as the protector of the Slavic people. To ensure they wouldn't stand alone, Austria-Hungary turned to Germany. Kaiser Wilhelm II responded by issuing a blank check, a promise of unconditional German military support, regardless of what Vienna chose to do next. Tsar Nicholas II faced a different pressure. He believed that if Russia backed down again, it would lose all influence in the region. Driven by ethnic ties and intense internal political pressure, he ordered the full mobilization of the Russian army. In the final days of July, the Tsar and the Kaiser, who were cousins, exchanged a series of desperate telegrams. They addressed each other as Nicky and Willie, trying to find a way to halt the mobilization before it was too late. Their personal correspondence was useless. The institutional military protocols they had authorized were already in motion, and the political leaders were discovering they no longer had the power to stop them. Germany's survival strategy was the Schlieffen Plan, a rigid response to a 2-front war, requiring France's defeat in 6 weeks before Russia arrived. Moving an army meant mastering railways. Millions of men were locked into complex schedules that couldn't be paused without logistical collapse. The German mobilization ran exactly as planned, funneling hundreds of thousands of men toward the borders on a strict minute-by-minute timetable. Because the plan required the widest possible sweep into France, German troops had to cross through neutral Belgium. This specific move forced Britain into the war, as they were bound by a treaty to defend Belgian neutrality. The reliance on these uncompromising railway schedules and the demand for a quick first strike created a momentum that political leaders could no longer stop. Every major power was pulled into the fight because their military plans allowed no other alternative. In August 1914, there was a widespread belief that the war would be a brief, glorious adventure. Soldiers marched off in bright 19th century uniforms, with many honestly believing they would be home by Christmas. That optimism was destroyed within weeks. Generals used outdated tactics, ordering massive infantry charges against defensive positions armed with rapid-fire machine guns and modern artillery. As the Schlieffen Plan stalled near Paris, both sides attempted to outmaneuver one another in a frantic race to the sea, trying to find an open flank that no longer existed. By the time the armies reached the coast, the casualties were already in the hundreds of thousands. Leadership on both sides had failed to realize that the defensive power of new weapons had made their traditional offensive strategies impossible. With neither side able to break through, the soldiers dug in. The result was a continuous 700-kilometer line of trenches that would remain largely static for the next 4 years. The war became a miserable routine of liquid mud, disease, and the psychological trauma of constant shelling. This was no longer a war of maneuver, but a war of endurance. Desperate to break this stalemate, leaders looked for new battlefields. They brought the Ottoman Empire into the war and launched disastrous campaigns like the amphibious assault at Gallipoli. The conflict spread to every corner of the globe. In the east, Russian and German armies traded massive, bloody blows, while millions of men were recruited from overseas colonies to join the slaughter. World War I stands as a warning about the danger of structural rigidity. When inflexible systems and absolute military timetables take control, it only takes one driver's wrong turn to start a fire that burns down the world.